We are voices of the divine. Hearts awake and we don't deny. Truth is calling deep inside. No more fear, no more divide. We've seen the shadows, felt the pain. Yeah. But we're not here to live in chains. The fire's rising in our soul. There's a higher purpose taking hold. Divine GPMS, feel the call. We rise together and standing tall. This is more than just a name. We are here to spark the flame. Add your energy, take your stand. Then healing flows through every hand. This is how the shift is done. We all unite and rise as one. Oh, yeah. No more shouting at the pain. We're the ones who bring the change. Yeah. We're not just seeing what is wrong. Yeah. We're creating something strong. From the ashes, from the dust. We're creating something built on trust. Every soul that signs their name adds their light into the flame.
It's time for the whole world to unite and stand against the tyranny which is happening worldwide. And let it be known, the Divine GPMS is for everyone. Every nation, every race, every religion, every gender, and every soul.
No matter your past or your path, you are welcome here. We stand for peace, unity, equality, freedom, and love. This is where every voice matters, because every consent carries energy. So if you feel the call, trust it.
Divine GPMS, feel the call. We rise together and standing tall.
Oh yeah, this is more than just a name.
We are here to spark the flame.
Add your energy, take your stand.
Then
the healing flows through every hand. This is how the shift is done. Now ascension has begun. Oh yes it has.
Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide, as outlined on the consenting website of Divine-gpms.world. It is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on May 17. It is the 17th number 2026, Divine-gpms.world with reviewers, fondator, and guardians all over the world. Thank you for everyone that it is here today. As the music said, add your energy. So add your energy to gpms.org, then you free the world. This is very important. Jerry from the United States, Agnes from Germany, Lodi, Philippines, Rick, you are still in Romania, I would say, from everywhere. Thank you so much, Rick, to be with us on earth as High Priest of Melchizedek Order and to bring GPMS, to bring the light for everyone. This is the solution for all humanity. And the people still do not know that they have God inside of them, or rather do not recognize God anymore because they were waiting for Jesus to come on the sky and was never coming. Another simple, do not believe on I would not say on God, but they do not believe on churches because of everything that happened with the priest and the churches and the children. But you mentioned that when you said you are Christ-like, you mentioned also the eyes of God, and you mentioned also period of time as May 14, May 22. So what is happening with ascension and what it is the reason that you made this great mention? Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Beatrice. And yeah, as I began our intro for I was a little bit sporadic, so I believe it may be because of Sister Beatrice's internet today, or it could be mine, but I'm just saying if others experienced the interruption in our beautiful intro song that we have it somewheres as well. You can listen to it at any time. With the overall ascension, there are, let's say, different levels of the ascension with different levels of consciousness. It does not mean a hierarchy, if you will. However, it's important to point out, and it is obvious to all, no matter what level they are at, that there is indeed different levels of consciousness. And this is important to say that it is the compassion from the highest level of the consciousness to not demean the lower levels that are coming forward. It means that we are fully conscientious, we are fully compassionate, uh, and we are at also very merciful. And these are God and Christ-like qualities of the important understanding and the compassion to understand where ones are at in their journeys and in their levels of consciousness. So, with the levels of consciousness in this ascending period, truth is constantly changing for all, even the highest levels of achievement, of enlightenment and spirituality in the least. We are always undergoing the change with new truths coming in until the first echelon of the ascension, the fifth dimensional emergence for the planetary ascension is attained. And then from there, things will change as well as more truth is given to the individual souls in alignment with, let's say, their choices and their higher choices. Right on Earth, right now, it does not matter who you are, if you are dark or if you are light, that the higher choices have to be made. And where the darkness cannot make the higher choices, it means they make the lower choices, which reveals and exposes them much more easier to the souls that are raising in this ascension and with their new eyes of God, which is metaphoric as well, with their ability, with their heart to discern what is fiction and what is truth, to keep it simple. And this is an important provisioning of the overall energetic environment on Earth at this time, this ascending energetic environment. So, what it enables is others to be able to see more easily the distortion, the things that are not righteous, the things that are immoral, and who is perpetrating them, who is substantiating them, who is condoning them and keeping them in existence. Because humanity needs to see that fundamentally it is wrong to support the current political system and artificial laws in the capitalistic financial system worldwide. It is harming the majority of humanity to the degree of about 93% of humanity is suffering to some degree, and lack is even a form of suffering when ones need to be very conservative and meticulous with their own provisioning to secure their present reality, but also their future. But what is occurring on Earth is that there is no financial secure future for humanity because of the capitalistic beast system. Um, so, what you were saying with everything is divinely provisioned. There is no escape, if you will, from any souls from this. Numerous clarion calls have gone out individually to important divine ones that were delegated for this time. But yet, saying truthfully, a lot of these calls have been ignored. And what occurs when a soul does not listen or trust or even comply with a clarion call when they are divine, then what occurs for them? It sets them off on yet another I call it unnecessary course of experience and action to see so that they see they made the wrong choice. Then they have to come back and get in alignment. See, many are under the fictitious thoughts and beliefs that they ascend by themselves, as you were saying, or that Christ Jesus comes and just gets them. This is so importantly a misconception. And when we look at the Bible, what has been preserved in there as well, in provisioned, is what Jesus clearly states. He would come like a thief in the night, meaning no one would know he was here, that the Babylonian structure of capitalism, artificial laws, drugs, alcohol, sex, that all of these things would be still ongoing while Jesus was actually on earth preparing for the new world. This is written in the Bible. Also, what is written in the Bible is that heaven is here on earth and it's bringing heaven to earth. This is part of what is written in there for those. So we are in the time, let's say, that the Bible was a great tool and instruction guide to lead ones to this now. However, I must say also, we are in unprecedented times with all of Earth and with this planetary ascension. And importantly, it is not right for all of those good souls that have done their inner work, that are prepared to remain in an energetic Earth with prolonged suffering. It's not what we all come here to do. We came here to liberate as many souls as possible. And yes, you are contending with what I call the limited resistance of the darkness that kept trying tactics of mind control, intoxicating all of your foods and drinks. There were so many things that they had did. However, divinely, God is omnipotent. And once you believe and get in aligned with a heaven on earth, what you begin to find is that everything that you need in this temporary time is provisioned divinely, because reality does not work the way that the human mind thinks it does. Reality works on virtue and purity, and this gives you access to the higher reality where things become much more navigable, navigational, navig- whatever, you know what I mean. It becomes much more easier. So you need to have that full trust, and you begin to see that your reality changes, but then also you are bestowed and embodied with more of your divinity, that your effects upon the outside reality become greater and greater and greater. So, once again, everything is provisioned with a planetary ascension. However, having said this, again, it's there may be levels or segments of the ascension that is known as rapture, that some may be relieved of the suffering and go forward. And predominantly for the last year, all light workers, all genuine light workers will attest to what I'm saying. The discomforts has gone beyond any proportion felt prior to that. It has been the most dense and the most fatiguing, if you will, upon the light workers. And we're not here to suffer. We're here to take humanity forward. But there comes the point when, time after time, with humanity being given the choice, but they don't want it, it means they choose their own suffering, because the full solution is right here on earth to end all suffering. So if they don't choose it and don't consent with it, it means inadvertently that they are choosing to continue with the suffering. So they choose it because they're not choosing the solution that ends it. So when you hear these ones complaining, you say, all right, are you a member of GQMS? Do you know there's simply a worldwide vote to end all of the psychopathic insanity that is imposed upon humanity? You have the choice. So the ascension is set up actually fourfold. I am given by Father to say to this effect. And fourfold is an important symbolic number, but also a creational number as well. And yes, numbers do play a role in creation, or you would not have math on Earth, to keep it simple. So they are, you could say, numbers are labeled, but they're also important labels. Yes, girl, what's Father saying? All right, I'll stop there. So with the ascension, oh no, I won't. I will continue. So between May 14th, May 21st, it is a possible rapture event, or in the least an accelerated ascension. So in this time frame, and I'm already seeing indications day by day, um, more notably in the last 3 days, of uh, the divine intellect and the consciousness within individuals that is expanding, and that they are coming more so to this knowing of what they come here to do, and it cannot be ignored. So they are empowering themselves, they are understanding more, and because of that they are expanding their energetic fields, their consciousness, and they are expanding the knowledge not only within themselves but with others they are coming into contact with that are raised enough that they're receptive to listen with the higher reasoning, because what is left in the lower domain, nothing makes sense for all of these. They have fought, they are tired of fighting, but they're seeing how fruitless it is to do it. So they're also opening up to the best solution to end it all. And the best solution to end it all is the divine solution of divine GPMS. And as we mentioned, no, not cryptos, parallel systems, parallel monetary systems. No, that is not the solution, for the simple reasons that it's all about who controls, owns, and operates the system for humanity, and that is in the incompetent, deliberate, dark hands. So the people has to take the rightful and lawful ownership and do what is right and just replace this insane system with the divine system that raises all votes. So we're in a very important, decisive period. We will see what occurs with this, and I cannot give you what will occur. All I say is that conditions are getting riper and riper for the possibility of the rapture or an accelerated ascension. We cannot continue in the way that we have. So this is for the light workers and essentially all of the human souls on earth. Again, they have to make this choice. Thank you.
So when you are saying you put also a question on your Facebook about instant, whether people prefer instant or accelerated ascension. Now on the accelerated ascension, it's also to share GPMS website. When we share GPMS website, the people start to open their eyes that something exists. And finally, we are equal, and this ends the poverty and the slavery in the world. But at the same time, you put this question, and my question it is to you. Do you believe more that will be an instant ascension like God Event 2, or an accelerated ascension like more and more we will see the system collapse or something else may happen?
Thank you. My divine job as an overseer of the planetary ascension is to also ensure that all of our light worker community is not having extended suffering as well. So by putting this post out into the collective, it gets each one to consider on a higher level on how we are going to take this forward. So it energizes the ascension or a rapture event. And this is very important for the ones to choose and add that energetic choice to the overall energetic environment in an equation with this overall ascension. And as I alluded to earlier, the light workers are extremely tired. We did not come here to fight and to be and to succumb to this evil world. We came here to change it. However, there comes a point where it becomes nonsensical at trying to free and save ones when they fight against it. So when you give them the full abundance and full freedom and they reject it, it means they are fighting against it. So in this sort of a dilemma, higher choices need to be made. We are not jeopardizing the entire ground crew, if you will, the divine souls that have done all the work. This is not what we signed up for. We signed up, if you will, for to do this mission and for us to relax and enjoy in the reward of the heaven on earth in the least. However, again, it comes a point that we jeopardize and prolong our own ascension by continuously trying to help those that do not wish to be freed, that reject divine GPMS world, or essentially do we just leave? This is a very serious question, but what happens is that it's proportioned divinely by putting the question out into the collective consciousness. It also has the note of seriousness with it. It also has the note of urgency, and it also has the divine note that enough is enough. It doesn't matter to us how much one suffer when they choose the suffering. We are here to give them the choices and the options, but there comes a point, enough is enough with this. And with Jesus Christ, with our brother Jesus, this is one thing, he seated the timelines for this time, for humanity. And his work was very tedious as well. But there came a time when he had to leave, when he had to ascend. So, with his resurrection, if you will, in the Ascension Day, which is now um, May 14th in one Christian denomination and celebrated in May 21 of another. I don't know which one is Catholic, one is Orthodox, and please forgive me, but they're celebrated a week apart, which is also 7 days. But the Ascension, if you will, there came the time that Christ had to leave as well, that Jesus had to leave. And he left, if you will, with his disciples and apostles before he left, and with the Last Supper before the crucifixion and resurrection is the most, that story is, if you will, is the most, and most widely accepted, but it's not about the story. It's about the theme and the metaphorical theme that is associated with it. And it had to be seated with the resurrection and then the ascension that occurred 40 days later. So we're in that period now. And yes, it's symbolic, but it has a deeper divine meaning because we are actually in a planetary ascension. And as a result of everything that has culminated to this point in 2026, in relation or considering 2025, humanity has not been in such a dire straits, if you will, this year, what they were last year. So things, events, energetics have culminated to a point where I will be blunt, there is no more fooling around with this. This is a serious thing. So either ones choose it or they don't. It doesn't matter. Uh, the light, the light ones that have done their inner work and their belief with God, we go forward. That choice is always there. And also for the beautiful, innocent children that, let's say, they are divinely preserved by God anyhow. So it doesn't mean if they don't fully know God in the consciousness, God is in their hearts. And so they go forward as well as, let's say, some a beautiful Christian couple, elderly couple that believe in God and are devoted to uh, the path straight and narrow with righteousness and morality. They are caught up in the wind as well and taken in a rapture event. Shall it occur? But again, what the rapture event would facilitate for any that were left behind would be the instant realization. When they see millions vanishing from the streets out of cars and all of this, then that is the point that it does sink in. Because a lot with humanity they need to see to believe. And even though a lot of human souls have seen things, like GPMS, they don't believe it. So it takes sometimes something very excruciating in the sense of a very extreme event to say, listen up, God is real. This is real. You need to make the choice now. So when, let's say, millions vanish, it leaves a very instant imprint upon ones that, hey, perhaps God is real, this rapture, this ascension is real. And then they'll say, those that are able to, I must change my ways as soon as possible because the world that is left behind, once the good ones that are in alignment rapture, what's left in this world, it begins to implode very rapidly. And it becomes even more extreme. Things with martial law, if you will, these are constructs of the darkness to impound and enslave humanity further forward. So, over the course of, let's say, the last several years, with their military experiments, this comes from the dark military complex. And their job as the darkness is to enslave humanity. And so I don't need to go deeper into that because many know what the dark plan was, but it's important that they know what the divine plan is, which is gpms.world, which eradicates all of this. And they don't need to go through these unnecessary events of enslavement, submission, and being manipulated and controlled. So it's that so it's that simple by putting that out in the consciousness. What do you choose, a rapture or an accelerated ascension? The choices are made when the ones begin to think about it. And when co-creators are meant to think about this, it is a unified, conjoined effort as well to that effect. And with this overall ascension, constantly we empower ones and let them know that their co-creation abilities are very real, they're very powerful, and the more refined one becomes in their purification, they realize that it is very real. And then they know their potential of changing reality, affecting it in the good ways. And this is not far-fetched at all. I'll use the example scientifically. It has been measured and documented that many monks praying, if you will, or meditating at the same time, how it affects the frequencies on Earth and also affects change. So these are very real things. So what I speak about is not far-fetched at all. It's all been scientifically proven, at least to some degree, or documented and witnessed by many throughout the ages. So we're not talking fantasy and delusional beliefs. We are talking truth, and it is already substantiated. It's just the alignment by all to this truth and making the higher choices. So here we are. Let's see what occurs. And the the doorway is open right as we speak between May 14th and 21. Just in closing, one thing I'm looking at is with the meteorites, they keep popping up, if you will, and becoming more infrequent as well, meaning, more and more. But an interesting another one for May 18th, which is a 20-meter object, which is about 60 feet for any in the imperial measurements, is coming very close to Earth. And let's keep a watch on what this one does. Because again, I need to go back to uh, December of 2024, I believe. Yes, when Father said he was taking things into his own hands. And I give that in a public meeting. We could see it somewhere more than once. And since this, then we have seen increased flooding, even more hardship upon people to get them to stand. And now we're seeing, let's say, the hailstones, tornadoes in Jerry's area, but volcanoes, everything, earthquakes worldwide. And now we're seeing more meteorites. But these things have all been prophesized as well. So again, these are not fantastical ideas that we're putting out. This is reality. The signs are there. People have seen them. People have even felt the wrath of these. And this is what it is. It's all been written. It's not coincidence. It's not by chance. So humanity has to make the choices. Thank you.
Now, this is my observation, but at the same time, there are real things that happen. The humanity seems to start to experience again. It is like a circle, coming back. A sort of outbreak of hantavirus, that it is a fake pandemic again, as we know that everything it is made on laboratory. And also the ID digital implementation. It was already implemented in the UK, Canada, United States. I do not know other areas, but Canada and the United States, they have already all the software in place and everything. So it seems to me.
What I will say, if I may interrupt, any of these digital IT implementations or what have you, they are not lawful because such serious things like this would need to have a uh, a full consensus, unanimity. My words today, please forgive me, by the people, a ratification with these serious things. So what this means is that governments do not have the proper representation to administer these. And because of this, these are actually unlawful, all of these measures. But please continue and forgive me, sister, for interrupting.
No, it is extraordinary because your interruption, because I had no idea that basically they need 100%, so the vote is so high. I believe that they need only a higher percentage, but not exactly the 100%. And yes, it is the 100% because this is the true sovereignty inside of us. So basically, it is every single of one of us, if we agree to the other to take control over us, yes or not.
Well, yes, this is important. See what you said with 100%, then they could apply it to the 100%. But if there's 1% that doesn't agree with it, they cannot apply it to the 1% because it is that mutual respect of the individual's sovereignty and their identity. So it cannot. It is the reality of it, but it can if the people choose and allow it. This is the thing. So a majority, but here is the real truth. These representatives and these politicians, they're actually only representing themselves or a few in their party. They are not representing all of their constituents, their people at all. And what this means is that they are not lawfully eligible to make these laws. So, very simply, again, that's why it's all unlawful, the same as taxes. There has to be the willful consent to these. And worldwide, to my knowledge, nobody willfully consented to paying taxes.
No.
If they did, it might have been a few of the rich, dark ones themselves. So these are impositions that were imposed against the will of the individual, which makes it unlawful. But in GPMS, in the New World, there are no taxes because the GPMS does not operate on these controlling mechanisms that cause harm to humanity, and it causes stress and all of these other things. But the system is designed to do this. In actuality, any government that is competent, it does not need any taxes because it's provisioned in every country worldwide with their central bank to create money when it needs to. Not in limited ways. They can instantly now create abundance for everyone worldwide. And they show this to you in times, let's say, with the COVID thing where they'll give you money where you couldn't go to work. This money comes out of thin air, but it's an example to show you that they are not limited, that they don't need taxes. Before they give all of these handouts, if you will, they did not ask for everyone to pay a tax or what have you. So, I'm just keeping things as simply as possible to show how the entire system is rigged to control and to enslave and to cause suffering and harm. And there is, to my knowledge, no politician right at this point on earth that could be your best friend because they are part of the worldwide network that supports capitalism that does harm and their artificial restrictive laws that also creates harm and untimely death. This is psychopathic, it's incompetent, it cannot be justified nor substantiated within law by any politician doing this. And as soon as you have a good politician, when they stand up, they're no longer a politician. The system rejects them because the system itself has the agenda. And that is what it's designed to do. So we say, no, we don't need to fight with that. We just create the new system by the people because the people are the majority and have all of the power, but also it is cleverly foundationed in law that in such times of tyranny like this, that it is the moral obligation and responsibility of the people to stand and change things. Because when the people don't, they become an accomplice to the harm that the beast system is creating.
Mhm.
And this is very serious within law. This beast system is causing 20,000 plus children a day to die of hunger around the world, and the numbers are raising. So anyone that's supporting the system actually becomes an accomplice to these great crimes because they're supporting the mechanism that is causing this harm and this death in the least, to keep it very simple. So people need to stop for a moment and they need to realize worldwide, what are they supporting? What are they an accomplice to? Are you accomplice to goodness or are you an actual accomplice to crime? Because the entire current financial system and worldwide system of artificial laws is criminal. It causes harm, it causes death. Law is supposed to protect and preserve and uphold one's rights, one's identity, one's life. when it begins to endanger that, it is criminal. It is no longer law. And if anyone supports that, then you become an accomplice to these crimes as well. Yes, indirectly, but also directly, because your politicians that you supposedly voted in, you voted these politicians to be representatives of you. So if these politicians are promoting capitalistic systems and artificial laws that is causing harm, it is your responsibility to ensure that these politicians stop that, or, as I said before, attempt to get a good politician in there to change it. But then what happens is that that good politician doesn't have a job for very long because the system will attack them and put them out. And this is where it becomes nonsensical for ones to protest against governments. Create the new world, replace the system. And that's what divine GPMS does. That respects abundance, harmony, peace, love, and equality within all. It does what is morally correct. It causes no harm. It eliminates harm on earth. And this is the heaven on earth, what we are establishing. And again, it comes a point of time that if the people don't choose it, it is not right for all of the light workers, the good ones, to continue to suffer. So a choice has to be made. And this is currently at one of those pivotal points where decisions are being made. Thank you.
Yes, so in my opinion, it's coming a little bit also like a test. It seems that it's coming again in circles. So it was before, and with injection and everything. And right now, basically, the population is still testing because we did not choose yet GPMS to get out of the system. So we stayed too long time on this pyramid system with artificial law and politician, and this is the reason that another outbreak, fake pandemic, and ID digital is coming back because this was also before, and the people right now needs to push it. So. But at the same time, they need to start work for the solution. So I would say, Jerry, in the United States, we have the collapse. The people started to know in the United States that it's a real collapse at this time. It's not about the economic collapse that it was engineered all the time by the darkness, as it was in the past. Right now, we have the true collapse of the darkness. We have there the black rock collapse and everything. So, what it is coming from the United States, because it seems that exactly as Rick said, we have the eyes of God there. So, more and more people started to be awake for everything that happened. What it is really happening there.
It's much of the same. Everybody I talk to, as empaths and light workers, they unload on us. And it's the same story every time. Can't get ahead. It's always an obstacle in the way. Hope everybody hopes it'll get better tomorrow. But as Brother Rick truthfully says, the whole system has to be replaced. You can't hope to vote the good people in and then have a shitty system to operate. It has to just change and change quickly. As we're seeing, some of us are getting tired as well. We've been putting a lot of energy out there into the field, and we know we're carrying a lot of people, but it's hard to see the results. I'm pretty sure the results are there, but perhaps some of the results are cloaked just so the dark side gets totally blindsided, type of deal. But I was studying the stones again this week. I moved to a little different area about 5 miles south of where I was. I'm walking the ridges, and the stones are rising in the woods everywhere, and they're coming up in patterns. I'm going to get out there later on today, just to see if I can get a few good pictures as to like the light codes that are coming up in these stones. It's native burial mounds. The stones are rising up, and it's like family plots along the wetland ridges here along the mid-continental rift. So that's all inspiring and so fun to feel connected to the ancestors in that way when you see that type of thing happening. And then I relate it back to Hopi prophecy and the Teponi stones. The code is in the stones. My friend Fizzy, his code is in the bones. The Bombo bone and the Shango bones, and all the others are just mimicking. They're claiming something that they're not even close, to being what they're claiming, type of deal. But that's the bad actors. The bad actors, when time is up, they just evaporate and they reincarnate back to source. That's one thing I learned, I think, was this week as well. You can't reincarnate on Earth, is what I found out. But you do reincarnate back to source. So it's it's tough. There's a lot of stress out there right now. I know the flags were at half mast yesterday, and I haven't been keeping up with the news the last few weeks, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But it's just everybody's looping. Oh, we'll vote somebody else better in, and this and that. But when you got a system with probably 500,000 laws, it just doesn't make any sense. Switch to universal law at Divine-gpms.world. Do no harm, as is the only law, basically. And it just simplified. It's just such a no-brainer. If people would actually get to the site and look at it, it's it's ridiculously much better than what we have right now. But in the churches growing up, we're told we're poor, miserable sinners, the whole time. They left 22 books of the Bible out. I read, went through those in this last year. But we believe the church told us we were poor, miserable sinners, so that's where the older people are at right now with it. But then, like Brother Rick said, the younger people, the DNA upgrades are there with them already, type of deal. And they will just kind of like fall into line, because, the creative powers are very powerful. And when it's time, it will be time. And that time is soon. I can feel it. I feel I've sweat, I'm just happy, try and do my best. And at more peace than I've ever been at in my whole entire life. And I've been a pretty peaceful, laid back guy, my whole life. So, but I just hope everybody else is hanging in there, doing well. Keep encouraged. If you need a break, get some rest. Um, and if you feel the energy, then you go with it, type of deal. Um, but if you need that rest, just don't beat yourself up over it. Um, there's a lot of the narrative growing up is, well, you can sleep when you're dead, type of deal. At least in our neck of the woods here in the States. And yeah, I don't feel that holds true much anymore. Get your rest now when you need rest so you can be more effective when the spirit gives you the energy to go and um, you know perform your gifts that you were so beautifully blessed with. Thank you, Sister Beatrice.
Thank you so much, Jerry. I was thinking to you this week because I had some meetings with other Romanian people, and there are at least other two that they create music.
Awesome,
And
awesome.
exactly. So we need to share more music, I believe, than maybe the words, because the frequency, it's everything, the good
Yep,
one.
yep. And
And
I kind of fell in, my own trap. I like to perform, but I needed a few days rest. But then, I got around the fire the other night, and then Spirit goes, "All right, hit the record button. Let's see what we got." And then I record three what felt pretty good ones, and then a big old meteor streaks right across the sky, kind of out of the northeast, trailed down to the horizon, right where the sun set, right where Venus set, about 4 hours after the sun, and then Jupiter set in the exact same spot about 5, 6 hours after Venus. So, you kind of, I like to go. And, yeah, I kind of get down sometimes, but I gotta rest. But then when it's right, it's right. So just ride that energy. Stay positive when you're resting, and just do no harm to nobody.
thank you so much, Esrik.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Jerry. Sister Beatrice, may you please find the we added on the GTMS website the important equality and goodness. But before you bring it up, I wish to say a couple other things before that, if we may, and then we'll go into that if it resonates. So, what I wish to say, currently we have very close to 404,000, 404, 400,000, and what's going on here today? We have over 400,000 consents, closely approaching 404,000. Having said that, I noticed today from Hungary, Lebanon, and of course the U.S. is growing, and the UK as well. I just wish to say I'm happy to see some other different countries also coming in. Um, a quick update on the contributors pool and the BB. We need some more time with this for one of the reasons the BB is not as simple yet as we want it to be. And the contributors pool page, we're still, let's say, working at it, but contemplating it. And also, there is that element of still here that, let's say, if we rapture, these things are not needed, and if GPMS is left behind, the others will step up and do this as well. So we are in like a holding period. Bless you, Sister Agnes. So we are in a holding period at least to the 21st of May and see what occurs. Then we'll reevaluate and have more information as we take things forward. So It is still there. It's just that our divine instruction right at this time is that we're focusing more on the ascension, all of the mechanics involved in that, and also the rapture. So it's a higher uh, divine offensive move, if you will. And without I going into details about that. But having said that, we were instructed the other day that we got equality and goodness brought onto our landing page, and it's important that we discuss this. And it will also be on the contributors pool page as well. And this is designed to clean out any ambiguity and to make it clear what we are speaking about with equality with GPMS. So, no darkness with GPMS. They are not equal to goodness, they are equal to evil. There is no place for them in divine GPMS. That is not the world we're creating.
Yes,
So, it may
it was already prepared to be shared, just to let you know. So, just checking
yes,
here.
thank you.
Yeah, it was just
Mhm.
another point that I wanted to start. Then you started. Um, yeah, we have the ascension unfolding and the equality in goodness. If we remember well, when we had a lot of Telegram accounts and somebody was coming and inserted there and tried to say that the evil is also equal. No, it's not. Then we realize it's at the time that the people do not understand the real equality and do not understand we are one. So right now we have the equality in goodness. This is the reason the light, and I would say what we are say as God, because God has not a definition, has nothing to do with the darkness. So remove the darkness. Universal laws remove the darkness too. This is the reason that through the implementation of the universal laws, the people will experience the true equality in goodness and also ending of poverty and slavery, because if darkness continue, this is not possible. Right
Yeah,
now,
so essentially, it is organically the separation occurs because it's by conduct. So when we put these in, any, let's say, dark ones or ones that are still in heavy states of fear, if they come in and attempt to create distortion and conflict, they are no longer equal in the goodness, and there is no place for them. So this is about the conduct and the respect of others. So they take their self out of equality by their actions from us. So we put this in very clear because it also substantiates if we have any derelict members or any members that go AWOL. Yes, on the contributors membership page, they will be banned, if you will. It's not acceptable, that behavior, but they're banned as a result of their own actions. They take their self out of equality. We don't do it. So it needs to be made clear with this. And no, we are not equal with the darkness at all. That is a trickery and a misconception when ones think that the darkness, our souls, and are the same as us. No, it does not work that way. So this is also to weed out any preconceived notions or misconceptions that ones may have. And we put this very clear. It is your behavior. So you choose yourself. It is by your choices. If your behavior is demeaning, non respectful in the least, well, then you have taken yourself out of equality, and there is no place for you in GPMS. GPMS is a worldwide community working all together with respect, peace, harmony, love, and unity, of course, and righteousness as well. So we don't judge anyone. The individual actually judges their self because they take their self out of equality with what is good and what is right.
Yes, thank you so much to add this equality and goodness here, because and also it is also just before the decree that the people will start to read the decree. This is a very, very important statement, because some people started to believe that we need a group of more awakening people, I would say. Do not use the word saint, or that basically they will lead the humanity or something like, but in reality, um, you started to just speak about you are Christ-like. So basically adding all the information on the website and equality and goodness, you know, it is a sort of leading the people towards their higher self. So they will start to see better the first paragraph on the decree. Eagle's sovereign, because the sovereignty is not working, the true sovereignty is not working without the equality. But what kind of the equality? This is amazing that it was added. This is what I found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have it all provisioned there. Some at times they'll get picky with some words that is on the website, but that is their problem. That is their issue. If they cannot see to come together with the one common goal to do what is right, then it means they still have distortion within their self. So again, that is their own self-judgment that they cannot be equal in goodness, that they let some words stand in the way to control them and prevent them from aligning with goodness and what is good and right for all. So again, it's not up for us to judge them. They actually judge themselves when they allow certain words that doesn't resonate with them to control their actions and take them away from the greatest gift of God ever known to humanity. And that's where it begins to go into the nonsensical proportions with their actions. Why allow a couple words to prevent ones from doing what is right and to allow many children dying daily around the world when it all can be eradicated instantly? That's where it defies common sense. It defies logic and rationale, where ones may become offended by a couple words, if you will. So again, they judge themselves, and that's why we continue forward with GPMS and those that choose the equality and goodness do align with this, and they judge themselves in good ways by aligning with the GPMS through their choice. Yeah, is there anything else down there, dear Sister Beatrice? Can you just scroll up a little bit, please?
Up or down? Up like that?
No,
Down.
down. Yeah, no, you're correct. Yeah, I couldn't see. Yeah.
There. This one.
Um, s- so just looking at this, so we are all equal in inherent value. And essentially, because money would not exist, most of GDP and the way things are from the capitalistic system, it would not exist if the people did not exist. So it becomes obvious that the people are the true generators of wealth. Um, yeah, any action that harms, exploits, or disrespects another breaks equality in practice. So we have that provision in there as well, because what is not right is ones to try to exploit others and harass them for money and what have you. That's not what GPMS membership is about, of course. Yeah, so it is their own self separation through misalignment. So yes, they will be also taken. They'll be taken out of the contributors pool membership page when we have that done up. If there's any dysfunctional ones that come in there. So it's pretty clear, yes, as we have that written. So this is also what you could say a divine lawful statement as well, because it explains it. So there cannot be any argument, if you will, by others. It's made clear here up front. And this is where it is at. So essentially, no, there is no equality with the darkness, and that would be foolish to think it is. Very foolish. That's the problem that you have now. Why would you want to be equal with the darkness and allow the darkness to control humanity into suffering? That becomes absolutely ludicrous, preposterous, and not acceptable. It's what causes the harm. So good. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Um, may I ask you what it is exactly the M on the hands and the moon that some of us they have on these divine times?
Well, simply for the M's that are on the palms, it is in the least an indicator to the individual. It's an activation point, if you will, of the consciousness in the least when they begin to acknowledge that. And when they also associate it with more of the divine things like Mother Mary, Messiah, everything that the M represents, a mother, all of those good things as well. Um, so, in the least, having said that, it is a great thing to have there. And it also becomes more interesting when you begin to see the holy nectar, the holy plasma. It will begin to secrete more so out of these exact cracks that form the M on the hand. So there is a divine provisioning that is there as well. So it usually begins there and then it goes into these other cracks, and then it also begins to come out of the fingertips. And so it is a very how will I put it? It is a very divine provisioning, once again, Father says, because for the Christ ones, you can miraculously heal, but it's also an indicator. This plasma and nectar that comes out, it's crystalline. It has healing properties, advancement properties with everyone that you touch with it. It also affects because it operates on a crystalline frequency, which is higher than the frequencies of Earth at this time. So it is a divine Holy Spirit connection as well. And each of you that has that are endowed and bestowed to respectable degrees with the Holy Spirit due to your degree of holiness. So once again, I am not talking, if you will, of a fantastical thing. This is a reality, and more and more every day are experiencing it. So it's not a phenomenon, it is a divine provisioning, and it has yet more purposes that will be revealed as we go along. And for I, right now in the operating consciousness, there's not much more than that right yet that I have to share, but incrementally, as we continue, shall we continue on an accelerated ascension path, then there will be more knowledge released. So the M's on the hands is a good thing. Your marks on the forehead. If you get a scar sometime in the past, it's a mark by God for the good ones. And you can also look at it as a chosen one. You've already been marked by God. So if you had a little accident anywhere up here and it left a scar for any of the light ones, that is a good scar and a good indicator that yourself are chosen. And of course, we all do the best that we can. So know that you're in alignment and it is important. Does that answer what you wanted
Yes, thank
to
you so much
ask?
because it was a little
You're
bit
welcome.
mixed, and I have also the M and the moon, and I had, yeah. Thank you so much to let me know. Agnes, what is happening on Germany with GPMS? How the people may find GPMS, the reaction.
Um, I had a very nice conversation um, with one man, and he was very interesting, and he also saw some points which we talk about the same, the changing. So I was very surprised. There was some more points and as usual, and he was also very curious about this. And so I'm sharing my cards, and um, it feels like the conversation could be going longer and longer. So we forget the time when we talk about GPMS. And I also agree with Jerry. The whole system has to be replaced. So it's so simple sentence. There is nothing to add. It's this simple thing. The whole system has to be replaced. And I, for myself, make now the experiences and collecting. For I also like Sistania, the evidence. Why it should happen, because when I show someone a letter like something like this, they're shaking with their heads because they think it's impossible what they write or do, part of the system. And especially I have one theme in my life at the moment, but yes, that's what I found today very beautiful set, and also what was posted last days, equality and goodness. So beautiful written, and very important topic also, which was added. And so I'm ready.
I
Thank you very
know you
much.
are ready. I know you are ready. I saw you on Facebook, and I see what you choose, what kind of the post you choose and everything. I know that you are ready. I feel that, especially when we are doing the meetings. I really feel how you resonate, how it is amazing. Thank you to be here. So, Lodi, do you remember when we were a little bit like concerned, we have honey on the hands, or it is the real effect that Rick just described? Because I feel like I have honey everywhere right now, especially after Rick spoke. So, what is happening there on Philippines with all the people, with all amazing people, 300,000 The native
I
indigenous there, they lead the world via GPMS. Thank you so much.
mhm. Thank you also for the opportunity. Yes, I also have that M mark on both of my palms, and yes, the nectar is always coming out. It's it feels so sticky, especially when I am holding a pen and I am doing the registration on the laptop. It always feels sticky. With regards to the consents, there are three new active GPMS guardians and two from Palawan, and uh, just the other day, they have sent a list of names from Palawan tribe. So it is what I am doing right now. And also a brother from Cavite. Uh, he had also given me quite I think it's over 1,000 names that he give me for GPMS. So as I said, some are taking a rest, but some new ones are being active and doing the legwork for GPMS. Uh, Another thing that I would like to share is what I'm feeling right now physically. Of course, the energy is so very high and I'm feeling it. I have it right now on my head and some feeling of it's like an electricity that in random parts of my skin is it felt like uh breaking of pins or itchy insect bites. I know that it is the energy that I am anchoring upon the Mother Gaia, and also with the spine, the bones. It's all over. I know, it's the essential symptoms. So it's very positive that we are experiencing the accelerated ascension right now. And so I am very excited, really, really excited. That's all I can share for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have Eva Mikosa. I do not know if she is speaking English or not, but I know she's from Philippines.
Mhm.
Hi, Eva, are you with us? So, Lodi, you are speaking all the time for the Philippines. I do not know if Eva is speaking English or not.
Most of the Filipino brothers and sisters understands a few English, but they are not very so familiar or uh, fluent in having conversation in English. So most of the time, I translate the post from the from Rick's Facebook account or in Telegram. I translate it and then post it on the Facebook of GPMS Philippines and also to the group chats. We have several group chats, so somehow they are quite updated with what is being posted about Ascension and GPMS.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm also translating in Romanian language. This Friday, GPMS had meditation with Nat and Max, and we hope this will continue. And Max is adding all the time beautiful music. Thank you so much, Max, for your work, and we invite you here also on the weekly meetings and all the team there. As I saw, we had TikTok there in the United Kingdom that it's very active with a lot of views and a lot of comments and answer and everything. So we need to start the same in all languages we know. Our voice is important, and we have to speak. We have to speak, especially during divine times. So this is also another way, not only the cards are amazing, but our participation on online version to spread GPMS, it's also important to lead the people towards the website. I had a couple of meetings in the last 2 weeks, conversation, I would say, and I found also somebody from Kuwait. He's a Romanian doctor, military doctor. He's probably in the white hats, but he did not confirm yet. But I believe he's there. And he's also informatician, and he moved forward with television, radio. He just opened on January for self-governance. And I said, hello, knock, knock, because it was my friend Piqui that invited me there, sent me a link. Hey, hey. I called him. He was not able to answer, but he sent me the link to see that there it is the discussion about the self-governance. Then I knocked to the door, and the door opened. And I said, yes, but the self-governance is not possible without the implementation of universal laws. This was another important discussion with somebody that he's saying he's priest, and he's coming on a very, it is a very high version of himself. So he's in Afascendit, and he said, Beatrice, can you see the word? I'm in the car, and nobody is claiming the people are moving with the car, and they are paying the $2 per liter the gas, and they are saying nothing. How do you want to make the self-governance with them? And I said, okay, but you never ask them. You cannot see what it is exactly in their mind and what they are saying, because I can hear them. Even in the television, they started to speak about high prices and everything. So this is basically the collapse. And it was like, are these people reacting enough to the energetic level? I would say yes, but he said, probably they still need spiritual leaders to lead them, and the self-governance will happen later. And I said no. So this was another discussion with somebody else from Romania that he's living in Canada. So the self-determination is there. And right now he said something that led me back to the universal laws implementation. He said, how do you believe that these people that right now they run the country, so it is about the darkness inside of them, they will come to the same table, they will be the first one that they will come to vote for every decision for the people again via the self-determination? And I say, no, no, no. First of all, this is the reason that we need to move from the artificial law to the universal laws, because when we have implemented the universal laws are the answer for so many situations. We do not need to enforce all the time the vote of the population. So we have universal laws, do no harm, that is leading the way. So the people are led by the divine. And another was coming, and he's saying that he has ancestors as the white dragon. And was coming forward, and he said, who is divine there? because we have the divine-gpms.world, and I said, us, we are the divine. So they believe that we do not know that we have the divinity inside of us. So right now, the more and more they started to see GPMS, we are doing conversation, and I would say again, universal laws are the true freedom. God, it is inside of us and also outside of us, but it is so important to have implemented the agreement. It is extremely important because if not, we are lost. The pyramid system, it is a dark system. It is coming from the darkness. This does not reflect us, especially when we start to hear the ourself. And I would say without the implementation, without this agreement, so this agreement, it is the piece exactly towards the true freedom. It is the piece missing towards the true freedom. Because without this agreement, we do not have the universal laws that will lead, then the people will get in house. So the self-governance is not possible without the universal laws implementation, because it is the universal laws that show the way. It is the divine that show the way. So anyway, I have a beautiful experience, and this continue because right now the people wants to hear more and more about this intrinsic value and intrinsic value about the money, how this is working, because they know about the other system that it's kept seems like by above earth, and they started to believe on all the situation with white hats that it is a financial system that develop and everything, and this is quantum, it's something new, it's something magic. But at the same time, they started to hear about the intrinsic value, that it seems that it is also above this white hats quantum financial system. So right now, basically, it is a sort of translation of GPMS, a sort of translation of GPMS in Romanian languages. So this discussion started there. This is amazing. And he made me also aware that during the time that we were able to see only 2 or 3 people, or maximum 4, that were active following our video, he said that he has developed software, and he can see that we are minimum 80 active. So the Facebook does not show the true number. So he has another version, he developed another version. So I would say the discussion continue with Romanian people, and some, they still have their connection. And this white dragon that is coming also, ancestors like dragon, Jeto-Dacian tribes, we started to have the conversations. So the information started to penetrate. This is what I would say. And this is great. Yes, Rick.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, sister. I actually visited a uh, decibel, but Zimoxy related place yesterday with say the white dragon. So it's good to see that. What I wish to say here's what I wish to do. Right at the tip of my fingers here is self-determination. Now, what the present system does, the beast system of politics, every nation worldwide, that is this side. What it begins to do, it starts with self determination, which is basically the right of choice, what you choose. But then, through its doctrine and its course, it begins applying conditions to it, and it begins adding laws to separate ones further and further from it to control one. Going back to self-determination with GPMS, it actually goes up here and it gives everyone everything, and it respects the full right of self-determination and the unalienable rights. So what you see is the actual inversion by the darkness, which is nonsensical, which is so telling why they do it, so that they gain control. So the more they condition it, the more rights that they take away from the individual, till you're left with only permissions by the governments that allow you to have these permissions. So again, from self-determination, GPMS is the complete opposite of this enslavement system. It is the freedom system based on your unalienable rights and, of course, your intrinsic value to do what is right. And your intrinsic value is the right to create worldwide abundance. So no innocent children are starving, and of course, no innocent adults. So, again, with it, that is the distortion, what the darkness does. They'll say that you have the right of self determination here because they use that right that you have so that you can vote within their system. But the problem with it, with your right of self determination, they tell you you can only vote for the system. With GPMS in the actual right of self determination, you can also vote for the new system, which is Divine GPMS, which replaces this and it collapses. So again, simply ones need to know the real intrinsic right of self-determination, which is your right of choice. Do you choose this system of suffering, or do you use your inherent right of self-determination that is already recognized by the darkness and choose the system where no one suffers? So again, it becomes a no-brainer choice, if you will, whatever way you look at it from this perspective. And of course, many in the past didn't even know that they had the right of self-determination. They would go and use it and utilize it to vote for parties that was given to them by the system itself, instead of creating the new system and voting for themselves and their brothers and sisters to create the new system where there is no harm. So, yeah, that's just part of that trickery. And, with what they call a QFS, that's been operable now for several years. And what it is just the banking system with backdoor ledgers and the elites, how they continue and control with their old system. And occasionally they will buy a good soul by allowing them to enter and enjoy into the money that the dark can also create unlimitedly, if you will, but allow only a few into their selective club to buy them. And this is also how they buy souls. That's why their capitalistic system is set up to actually persuade and buy souls into joining what is wrong. And that's when they become greater accomplices to the crime because they are choosing these things, which is not correct. Now, also, what I saw just the other day again, and it's so sickening that here in Europe, and I believe in Romania, there's a young girl that her life is endangered right at this time because of some form of a sickness. Now, here's the thing. that if the family is able to raise over 300,000 euro, they can get the treatment to save the little girl's life. But if they don't raise it, they don't get the treatment. So the little girl may die. Now, how sick of a world is this where money is placed more valuable than a little child's life? That is how sick the worldwide system is. So, for any watching this, if you support this system that is actually killing and harming little children once again in so many ways, what are you doing? You're not doing the right and moral and ethical thing. You're actually supporting a criminal system. It's very sick to see these things. So, what people will tend to do, they won't think about what is behind the psychopathic mechanism of a child needing that much money to be healed. So, what some will do is donate to it to assist the child, which is a good thing, but they don't pause to think of how psychopathic, how criminal a system is to endanger a child's life when the cure is out there, rate acceptable, that can be given at no cost. This is the way that a world should function, and this is the way with GPMS that it does. Everything is free of charge, no cost. Healthcare is entirely free, and especially for all of the children. It's what humanity needs instantly if they need it. And that is what is sane. It is what is competent. It is what is common sense. It is logic. And it is the righteous and moral thing to do, to create this world. And when I see humanity, or let's say the elites, thinking that this is an advanced civilized world, that is furthest from the truth, where there is savagery with this money allowing innocent children to die. That is not civilized at all. That is sick. It's psychopathic, and it's savage, and it's primitive. That is the truth of the reality, and people need to change and stop this now. With GPMS, there is no child that dies, and this could be done in a month worldwide. Think of all the beautiful, innocent children that you are saving. Every day, over 20,000 children die just of hunger that could be saved. Many are disappearing. They are stolen because of the capitalistic system that incentivizes ones to steal children, to traffic children, not only children, human trafficking as well. These are sick things that are incentivized by the capitalistic system. GPMS eradicates all of this provisioning for these insidious crimes and deeds, and the children are safe worldwide. So ones need to also look at that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. I believe that I saw Agnes hand raising, or only no? Okay. I would say something that also happened here on this place where I'm still living until probably I will be one day on British Columbia. So I'm still on Alberta. So, and I believe that it is because of non-alignment with the universal laws. It seems that everything that is not aligned with universal laws is shaken. And what is really happening? So we know that we have here the Alberta separation movement, and the consents to start to have a referendum uh, was gathered since they started almost in 2-3 weeks, and they continue, and they arrived to only 300,000 or more by May. So 300,000, this is absolutely not enough because we are a little bit more than 5 million here. But anyway, to start a referendum, to be approved for a referendum, this is enough because it was only 177,000 asked. So then they had the consents necessary, and they enter in the federal court to receive the approval for the referendum. And what happened there? The judge rejected that referendum to happen because the Alberta separation movement is basically not aligned. There are treaties by the Native Indians in Canada that in reality they are laws, and Alberta separation and everything does not respect these treaties. But in reality, what I was able to surprise myself, it is that even these treaties, it is a lot to say there, because the true universal laws, how it is kept via GPMS versus some tribes, because some tribes are keeping well, but some tribes, they experience a lot of pressure because of the system, etc. But there is another discussion. But what I was surprised to see, it is like a hand that is taking over, and it's saying no more fake, how can I say, borders. And basically it is no separation, no, because this is coming from the darkness. So it is like a stop when you are not in the correct way. So even that you have good intent, but when you are not in the correct way, so basically it is a sort there of non-alignment with a true equality that you share and the true universal laws. It seems that something happens that's not is not working right now. So basically they fit on the moment where also so it's coming like a surrounding. Also other provinces, they want to move forward the separation and everything, but it seems like a hand of the God that it's saying, no, you are not in the good direction. So even that they are on the best moment to do that, they are captured somewhere where they may start to put themselves question, and the answer, it is they cannot fight inside of the system. They cannot have what they want. They need to move forward with universal laws. It is a non-alignment. Yes, Rick?
Yeah, exactly what you're saying, Sister Beatrice. But not only that, what they are seeing is how the beast system is designed to protect itself as well, which is an important aspect of this. Let's say within what is supposedly provisioned within the Canada Constitution is the right of assembly, but also the mechanisms to create change through such thing as referendums. However, it's devised that it has to be approved by the system itself. And what you're going to see every time is that the system will reject it. And I used several years ago a great example from Serbia, where the people within their constitutional rights actually were taking control of the country to do what is right. But what occurred is it was only recognized by one other nation worldwide. So very quickly they were suppressed, and the old power regime and structure came back in. This this gives a very important lesson to the rest of the world, and it's also why I say Any of your current constitutions are not worth the paper that they're written on, because what the governments have did is they pretend to give you that you have rights, but it's tied directly to their judicial system where they strip all of the rights away. And also they control how things occur. So let's go with Canada, and let's say 10 million Canadians went with a referendum, went to the government, it still would be rejected because the government is in control and they have devised many mechanisms like secure national security threats or what have you. They always have something to control the people. And again, with GPMS, that's why it's so important. Their only escape from this enslavement is creating the new system where the people actually control the system to do what is right. So this is also why we say to people, don't fight, just unite. And here's your full system. Here is everything that works. Here is the full solution. And what you can do, people, is put yourself in the rightful and moral places of power where you should be worldwide. These individuals are just actors in governments, and in reality, people, they are much less than you. They are not equal. They have separated themselves because they are dark, incompetent, and what have you. So don't waste time asking the darkness for this. It's nonsense. It's like a criminal breaking into your house and you say, "Oh, please, criminal, don't take anything." Are they going to listen to you? No, because their intent is criminal. And this is where it becomes preposterous to ask anyone criminally in line to do the right thing. For hundreds of years, humanity has been asking of their representative governments to do the right things. Has it been done? No, it has gotten worse. So, how much more does humanity need to see before they discover the system itself is the big problem, and that it does have an underlying agenda to create and cause harm and cause great harm that causes death? So, relatively, it's some, and practically, it's so easy to see. You're all light, sister. Are you ascending? You lit right up, Sister Beatrice. You're illuminated. Good stuff. Thank
Yeah, no, we had some rain here, and even that the window it's open, it's not enough light. Yes, we had I borrow. He tried. Yes, I borrow. He tried to reach us, but seems impossible because of the internet issue. I wanted to hear him from Nigeria. If he's coming, he is very welcome. So thank you so much, Rick. You answered already to all the questions that will be put probably tomorrow on the television in Romania, alternative media. Then I will tell that you answer. Thank you so much. We will have your
you.
answer.
You're welcome, sister. Also, I should mention where Brother of Boral come in. What I am observing in Africa is a huge step forward where, let's say, there's more of a united Africa, which is beginning to realize more fully how they have been not only enslaved, how they've been pillaged by the current worldwide system and all of their resources stolen from them. And this is such a very good pivotal indicator as well to see Africa beginning to unite, but also with the realization of what the capitalistic system has done against them. And, But I wanted to bring this up that I am, even though we're not seeing it to the degree that we would like from Africa into divine GPMS, yet they have made a huge step forward at least recognizing their own sovereignty and began to take that back to stand and not be robbed by the outside nations and pillaged like they were, and their people put into enslavement. Like, for example, I'll use Barrick gold and also platinum resources, I believe, if I have the name correct, like in South Africa, totally exploiting our African brothers and sisters, giving them pennies to mine gold for them, which they began to keep becoming rich off of, but also the rape of their women as well, our brothers and sisters in Africa. So many insidious crimes performed upon um, well, it's placer mines, I believe, yeah, in Africa. So, see, because again, in resources, Africa is so rich in diamonds, platinum, and gold, and it's very sick what the capitalistic system done also to the African people. So they enslaved the African people worldwide, when slavery was there, very heinous and insidious crimes and robbing not only the African people of their resources, but their individual divine dignity and their sovereignty. So again, GPMS restores all of this. It gives it back to every individual, not only in Africa, but of course around the world. And the African people with GPMS, they don't need all these capitalistic resources and riches of gold, silver, and diamonds, because the people in Africa themselves is the unlimited resource and value. And this is the simple thing. Don't fight the system because they stole your gold and your diamonds. Create the system where you are the value that they can no longer steal. Slavery has been abolished worldwide. So then there is no justification to enslave you and steal your unlimited value as well. So Africa is also coming forward to share with ones. Thank you.
Wow, this is just amazing because we need them. And especially here in Canada, in the United States, when I started to be involved on the freedom movement years and years ago, I said, oh my God, what the darkness did. They bring us together in a land somewhere like Canada, in the United States too, that we are so many coming, born outside from that land and coming together in one land. So basically, if we come together here, it's all the earth coming together. So I said, the darkness, it's doing its mistakes so a lot because we will become unstoppable one day. It's just to be able to rise up, so nothing else. And this is coming. We have Iboro. I will let him to speak. He's coming back. Hi, Boro. Hi, Boro brother. Please open your mic and camera if possible, if not only the mic. Brother Iboro, can you hear us? We are waiting for you to open. I will ask to unmute,
Good
please.
evening.
Yes, just say
Can
yes.
you hear? Hello.
Yes, Ebor.
Where I am now, I am now is not trying to open my camera. If you
Yes,
can hear me very fine.
yeah, you just the mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. The network is congested here, so the network is very bad over here. That's why sometimes my voice will be cracking. But can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I think one of my friend have sent me money to come over to a place and spread GPMS message. I will be going there next week. But I'm lagging the resources like CAT and other literature medium to send the message across to the masses. We're going there probably on Monday. And I want to believe that we will attain in many consent for GPMS. So that's all that I have to say for now. And one more thing, so some light workers said that GPMS may be actualized or come to being on the 17th. That is today. And today, as we can see, the United States of America is also having the Independence Day today, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
And a
it
lot
is on
of
July 4th.
conspiracy
July
theories said,
4th, not now.
hello?
Yes, it is on July 4th, United States, not now.
I say I got it from so many conspiracy theory that at the 17th of May 2026.
Okay.
But that's just tentative, in which I want to believe that GPMS will actually come to being, but not today. So a lot of those that have signed up come asking me that today things may change, in which I told them that it's just speculation and information. So it's just tentative. They should not put it into consideration. But actually, GPMS will come to being someday in the nearest future. That's what I believe in. I kept on telling them to get more consent to have this actualized.
Interesting. It's because we are exactly between May 14 and 21, and we are on 17. That it's Q, it's God. It's 17, and tomorrow 18. So this is interesting. What I know it is about July 4th. That could be a little bit significant this year in the United States, but if it is May 17, for me, it's just better.
Have not done so at least yet, and I don't anticipate that they will. As I said, GPMS is about the people. It's not about governments. It's about the people and self-administration to do what is right and to create unlimited, instant value to put everyone on earth in an immediate place of comfort and full financial security forever into the future as long as it's needed. And again, GPMS it's like, to keep it simple, in any country, when you are voting for a new government, if no one was to vote, the new government would not exist, and you would have complete chaos and turmoil. So, by one's not voting, consenting for GPMS, it also cannot exist, and you will continue to experience the chaos of this beast system that everyone is at the mercy of until they choose the moral system of divine GPMS. So it needs to be voted on because this is what enacts it into law with a majority ratification worldwide. This is why it's inevitable and it's also incontestable, and it's also why it occurs, because it's also being lawfully done. It places your entire capitalistic system of suffering with this new system where everyone thrives and is in abundance, peace, and joy. So again, you can give it to people that simple. It's a worldwide vote. Once the majority vote for divine GPMS, it is enacted into law. No governments worldwide of less than 46,000 politicians can stop 4 billion people. And they have no substantiation to stop it because the replacement system is all inclusive. It does no harm, and it also prevents harm and crime. So any politician or government has no lawful justification nor substantiation to even attempt to oppose GPMS because it becomes so clear. So the people need to realize that their vote is very important. Their vote is their consent, and it's needed now to change the world. Every day someone hesitates that knows about GPMS and don't vote, there's more children that are dying worldwide, and the numbers are increasing. So the majority of the people on earth are good people, but they need to choose in this unprecedented time to end the suffering. So again, it's that simple, without I repeating constantly and reiterating. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, yes,
another school of thought. Another school of thought has it that GPMS is connected to Starlink computer from the United States, probably from the dog, in which Elon Musk is the head in that department. Now, so
Not sure
many
what you're
things.
saying, brother, but I wish to divinely interrupt. Divine GPMS is from God, prime creator of all things good. Also, you missed part of the meeting where we just explained equality and goodness, and that is also on the landing page. And what this clearly is a clear, important, non ambiguous statement showing that we are light, we are divine. The darkness is not equal to us. So it makes it very clear that this is not dark. And when you look at ones that try to attempt to say this is communism or a cult or all of these ridiculous things, these are ones that do not know what they are talking about. They formulate preconceived conditioning, um, or also they are manipulated and controlled by the darkness. These mean nothing to us. Anyone that is genuine will see in the website it's all inclusive for humanity, and with a simple vote to vote this in. So there is no um, provisioning by anyone that attempts to diminish GPMS. What it does, it identifies the darkness theirself when they attempt to try to diminish what GPMS is. So then you should see that one as either being controlled by the darkness or being darkness theirself. But don't be distracted by that one because these are tactics of the darkness to manipulate and distort the truth of all things good. And they also are meant to distract ones away from the truth because the darkness doesn't want the good things for humanity that divine GTMS provides. So there is no argument by anyone against GTMS, though they may try, but it becomes so foolish when you look at how they will try to do it, or they may try to do it. But the trick is don't listen to those ones because they're meant to distract you. If they can, for example, keep you distracted at arguing with the darkness, then you are distracted from collecting consents that eradicates the darkness. So the logical common sense thing to do is don't waste your energy and don't waste your time on negative comments from the darkness. It's simple.
So, Iboro, do you have something to add?
Actually, that was just speculation from so many people that I came across with.
Mm.
That's what they said because I think there are other light workers working along with GPMS, in which I've been hearing them that their resources and funds will come from God the Almighty, in which I want to believe that's true. I think that information was from people that believe in Nazareth, Gazareth, and all those stores from the United States of America, in which they want to believe that the United States government will be the one in charge of all of these things that is going to happen. They came up with alliances and AQ stuff, in which I want to believe that it may work for them because what you believe what really works for you. So the Nazareth Gazareth may work for them. But as for GPMS, which is divine, I strongly believe in GPMS as the rescuer of mankind.
Okay. So this time, United States, it is in full collapse, and we'll see what is happening there and what is coming forward, because it is a lot that is coming from there. If I will start to make a list, will be a very, very long one. It will be more than one page only, like a summary, or so it is a lot. We'll see in the coming 2 months, maybe on June and July, where the United States sits. And I believe that many people from there started to open their eyes, and probably they will start to find GPMS.
I believe Sister
I do not know my internet, or I believe that it is my internet, unfortunately. I'm blocked.
that it's a that it is a scam. It's a false narrative meant to keep ones complacent and dependent on the very beast system itself. So it is never going to come to a provision because it's not meant to. It is a dark construct to keep all of these light workers in a place of codependency and hoping that it will come to fruition. And what I need to say, I believe it's almost 20 years now that every day they say, oh, it's happening tomorrow, it's happening the next day. They've been saying this for 20 years, if you will. And this is not truth. And this is a very cool trick to play on the light workers and humanity. So I need to make this very clear. GPMS is being ratified worldwide lawfully. It's being tangibly done. It's being transparently done. It's being done physically. And everyone knows that a vote, a majority vote, rules. And it's that simple. This is the basis of any bringing together the people to decide on what is good and what is right. So I just wanted to clear that up because, yes, many beautiful souls, light workers, were disillusioned by these dark narratives. Anything that has gold taxes in it, and the Nasara does have that, Jasera does have that. These are instruments of the darkness to control. And I just mentioned about Africa and all of these things. So for the light to break the control, the darkness, what God does is unleashes the unlimited inherent value of every soul upon earth to create instantly unlimited money. Keep it simple. And this is what we're doing. And that's what breaks their system of control and enslavement. Nasara and Jasera is a control enslavement narrative, but it's set up to keep loosing the creational energy from the light workers to create a distortion that's never going to occur. The darkness were the masters of deception. No longer are they the masters of deception because the light is here exposing their tactics. And I am of the light, and I am telling you truth. And if anyone doesn't believe this, if you want to, take the time over the last 20 years and see how many times actually they said it's happening tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. You'll probably get in the tens of thousands or perhaps a million. How many times does one need to be lied to before they discover that it's a lie, that it's a trick? So nothing can compare with what GPMS is for the full liberation of humanity. So again, with no, none of these things to even bring up these topics is acceptable to because they're dark constructs. The energetics around it does not resonate. It's where it has brainwashed ones into believing something that is not true. And it's time for these light workers to wake up to know that, yes, they have been deceived. All of their energy and hopeful wishing over the years, all of that great energy harnessed to keep a beast system alive that is actually the greatest danger to them. And they need to know the truth. There are no white hats in the sense to liberate humanity. It's all a lie it's a lie, it's a narrative that has been constructed by the darkness itself to give false hope, to keep one's codependent upon a beast system that pillages the energy and robs the individual until it's nothing left. Common sense will tell anyone that it is a lie. And what I suggest right at this very moment for all good souls and light workers to vacate, to exit those false narratives and get with the real divine plan of GPMS and do what you come here to do. You come here to create change on earth, not be tricked or controlled by a dark beast system. You're doing the opposite by doing that. So you need to make the decision to join with the real Christ or going with the Antichrist and be controlled and enslaved and suffer continuously. And this is the truth.
Yeah, so
No,
we
I actually
already
see something today. Hello, I'm still speaking. I actually see something today on my bank, domestic bank application. So some of those individuals were talking about tier one. They were talking about quantum financial child system, in which they said 17th of May. And today I saw something in which no, they said quantum financial system was going to take over the new transaction system, which is on the 17th of May. In which I have seen something on my banking apps. They said we are in tier. They said tier 1, 2, 3. Then I saw tier 3 reflecting on my banking application. Now they talk about XRP as a cryptocurrency that will be used in transaction, which will be very fast.
darkness, crypto darkness.
Yes, and in my banking apps, I've seen tier 3 reflecting in which they said quantum financial system has already taken over. It has taken over from Swiss a transaction, which is in the whole system, and that has reflected on my banking apps today.
Brother, this is not true. What the best way to do with this, let's give you a week and then come back and then you can let us know if you're getting all of this money, if you will. It's not true. They've been saying the exact thing you just said for about 20 years now, or at least 10. And I've spoken about this earlier in the meeting as well. And I'm not going to reiterate it because I already explained it. So, what you are experiencing is a lie or an attempt to be bought to sell your soul to the darkness itself. So, it's your choice what you choose to do. But what you are saying is not GPMS at all, and it does not belong at this point in this meeting. We have covered enough of that.
Yeah.
And what I say, it's a lie. It is not truth. And we, or I myself, I cannot speak for my other brothers and sisters, but I am not supporting this at all in this meeting because it is dark energy. And that's what it is. And it's your own choice what you choose to believe. But this is not the divine plan. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Even that
I did not because I just tell you what they have been saying. I just tell
yeah,
you
I
what they have been saying.
understand, I borrow, but even if we are, some of us still a little bit forced playing with so-called precious metals and minimum these are metals. But this crypto, it's really a fake one, and I do not have trust on Trump, and I do not want to hear nothing here about this kind of stuff. Crypto equal darkness, nothing else. And Trump, unfortunately for him, the population needs to start to see also the Epstein file. Then they will find out about more politics and politicians that we are saying all the time the truth. And we do not need that. We need consensus for GPMs to come forward from this kind of crypto and everything. They will never come on the correct way. Some alignment with universal laws. I see this may happen, but this is not done by chance. This is done because they are forced to, because there is a GPMS cities online. GPMS gather consent. GPMS has a voice. And this is the reason that the people started to hear, then the people started to put question that they are basically forced a little bit to align with the universal laws, and especially Trump, he will be a lot forced to align more and more with some truth that will come out. If not, he probably will be not allowed to pass on so-called New Earth. So he'll be not president there all the time. Just let you know. So I would say we have more than 2 hours of meeting today, and this is my message for everyone that is coming towards me from crypto aheads and everything. Everybody it is welcome when the alignment it is done. If the alignment it is not done, there will be question answer, and I will support all the time GPMS because, as I said before, I was basically awakened on 2017 towards the solution that it is the self-governance. I found no support at the time. In 2020, I started to find support like a group that was not able to keep the true universal laws through everything that they wanted to implement. Then I had no choice than get out from there. Then when I found GPMS, after that I'm inside because GPMS it is aligned with universal laws and all the website it is coming on this way. So please read the website and start TikTok and the videos and everything. And thank you so much to everyone that shared GPMS, because also through the Facebook, somebody from Canada contacted me, and right now we have another contact and another one that knows about GPMS and support GPMS. So we are moving forward how we can, and yes, we'll be winning soon in the way that the freedom will be seen by everyone. Yes, Rick.
Yeah, I was just looking for something. One of the head guys with this XRP, and what we were looking at was the consensus logistics rather than a blockchain. So in the early days, they were contacted XRP by I from GPMS. Again, they were not in alignment and did not wish to provision nor support GPMS, but they were tested as a temporary measure. And again, what you see time and time again, any of these temporary parallel systems that they do not substantiate nor support GPMS yet. And it's very important for everyone to know that all cryptos, all coins, all bank accounts, everything is held digitally on an internet that is controlled and owned and operated by the darkness theirself. This is why no parallel system will work. This is why GPMS is here for the people to take the lawful ownership of the internet worldwide and also the financial core routing system worldwide. Because truly, without the people lawfully and rightfully owning this, they are at the mercy of the darkness. You can have $1 trillion in your bank account, Boral, that a Jacera thing might have given you, but at the flip of a switch, the darkness can shut that internet off. And where are you going to be? You're going to be with $1 trillion that has no value. It's worthless to you. So ones need to understand that the main problem with the darkness is because they own and operate these things, yet they unlawfully and illegally own the internet and the financial system because rightfully and lawfully it belongs to the people. None of this infrastructure would have been built if not for the people and all of their contributions to it. So the people are rightfully and lawfully taking these two infrastructures into their hands to do what is right. Now, sensibly thinking with a crypto or a Jacera thing for the world, think of all of those that has no internet. 2 years ago, it was roughly 49% of the population of the world had no access to internet directly. And this is important to look at. Yes, now the internet is more widespread, but the point is with any type of a crypto or thing, it doesn't provision the poverty. And what occurs is that it's unequal. And what it does with a crypto only give crypto to ones that has internet connection. This again is preposterous, it is psychopathic, and it is insane. So GPMS takes care of this worldwide by ensuring everyone has access, free access to internet and the logistics and technology as well. And in places where it does not have it yet, missionaries are instantly sent in asking the people what they need instantly to put them in a place of comfort. This existing system, the way it is, does not accommodate all of humanity. That is not equality. That is not what is right. So again, none of these parallel systems and false narratives that are given to people, they don't work and they're all lies. Divine GPMS is the only thing that works. It's been ingeniously given and provisioned here in this reality for humanity that chooses to no longer suffer. It's no good for to have 6 billion enjoying a crypto while 2 billion are still suffering. That is nonsense. It's unacceptable and it does not go forward like this. So it's important for ones to keep your focus on the all-inclusive equal system for all of humanity. No more children are going to starve and die and be taken in this world. It ends now and it's ending. So nothing else will do. GPMS is it. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Rick, to add everything about that. I hope that so basically we are inside of the darkness system, and we just need to survive. We do not need that. So everything that we need consent on GPMS and start from there. And I really hope that, and I said one day, it does not matter if what could be the fluctuation of the bank account, if tomorrow will be here or will be zero, or does not matter. Everything that matter, it's when GPMS starts. This is all about. Then from there we have everything we need, and it's just we need to survive on this world now and to pass through until GPMS starts, nothing else. Thank you so much to everyone that it's all the time on our GPMS weekly meetings and support GPMS. And more and more people will start to share about the global people monetary system that sometimes it was about, can we change the name because it does not fit, or no, it is exactly the correct name, because the people from the business right now started to look on the money and they find global people monetary system, and they see after that it is not about the money, it is about the true liberation. So those that they will have eyes of the God to see, they will come and they are very welcome. We need to rise the guardians up and be all the time active. Thank you so much to everyone, and see you soon.
And love, light, and gratitude to everyone watching this later. And we will end this. And thank you, Sister Beatrice, for hosting. once again and all of our sisters and brothers that joined this meeting. And I will end the